out for the adventures of Rocky and Bullwinkle and Friends. Starring that jetty Jerry Lace, Rocket J. Squirrel, and his pal, Bullwinkle the Moose.
Hi, glad to see you again.
Likewise.
We did some great things on the show today.
Like what? Like what?
Well, you ought to know, Bullwinkle. You're in some of them.
Well, let's get started.
On the tree-shaded banks of Lake Dinkawawa lies one of America's great storehouses of knowledge, the Double Dome Institute for Advanced Thinking. You, sir, what is your scholastic background?
Well, I'm a BA from Columbia, an MA from Harvard, and a PhD from Caltech.
And I take it you're a professor here?
No, I'm the janitor.
No, I see. Well, are you gentlemen members of the faculty?
Faculty? We're the freshman class. A squared B prime X plus Y. Upsilon, Omicron, Eta Theta Pi. Contemplate, cerebrate, cogitate, do. Double dome, we love you. Felicitations, felicitations, felicitations.
Yes, Double Dome is a shining jewel in the crown of American scientific wisdom, so you can imagine the consternation and dismay that prevailed when one day...
I say, Armbruster, what's the formula for the isopyridine derivative of benzene?
Don't ask me. I'm busy playing with my piece of string.
Armbruster, are you making sport of me?
Oh, no, I'm making a cat's cradle.
Hotchkiss, I think Armbruster has flipped his scholastic wig.
He certainly has. This is how you make a cat's cradle.
Yes, two of the smartest geniuses at Double Dome were now utterly stupid. That wasn't the end either. For next day at a super-secret missile base not far away...
I think you'll find the inertial guidance cam requires a beryllium alloy, gentlemen.
Beryllium?
Beryllium. B-E...
what is it, Doctor?
I can't spell beryllium.
Oh, that's B-E-R-Y-L-L-I-U-M.
Yes, but how do you make the B?
Soon panic reigned in the highest circles of the scientific community. And at a top-level meeting in Washington, D.C., an ace investigator was put on the job.
Inspector, somebody, somewhere is draining off America's brain power. Do you think you can solve the case?
It's child's play, Professor.
Well, what did you find out?
I found out that you can use a magnifying glass to give people a hot foot.
Oh!
Yes, the detective was now as dumb as the scientist. It seemed that the smarter the investigator, the dumber he became.
That's it, gentlemen. We must start from the opposite direction. We have to find a sleuth with no brain to affect. We need the services of the greatest numbskull in America. And that's...
No, you're getting ahead of the story.
Oh.
Well, the great hunt was on. Government files were ransacked for the names and records of every clodpole, dimbob, and schnook in the country. Finally, the choice was made.
Gentlemen, upon this one nitwit rests the fate of our entire nation.
And his name?
Bullwinkle Moose, Frostbite Falls, Minnesota.
No.
Now.
You called?
Yeah, here's a letter for you, Bullwinkle.
Wowie!
Why so happy? You don't even know what's in the letter yet.
I know, but look at that stamp, a genuine picture of Lincoln with a beard.
You must be crazy about Lincoln.
No, I'm crazy about beards. What does the letter say?
It's from Washington.
Washington. You suppose he heard I was a Lincoln fan?
Bullwinkle.
I'd be a Washington fan, too, if he had a beard. Washington needs all the fans it can get this year.
Bullwinkle, this says we have to go to Washington. Washington, D.C.
Oh, then let's.
But it wasn't that easy, for at that moment, a mysterious figure lobbed a live hand grenade at Bullwinkle.
Oh, hey, cut it out. You want to hurt somebody?
Apparently so, and we'll find out who next time in the Brain Drainers or Malice in Wonderland.
And now it's time for...
Time for the dancing fool, Bullwinkle.
Again? And now for one of our special fairy tales.
Yeah.
There was once a young lad who'd been sent fishing by his father in hopes of catching a meal for the table. The boy had fished and fished since early morning, but had not caught a single fish. There was a reason for this, however, for he had forgotten to put bait or hook or line on his pole.
There's even a better reason than that.
Oh?
There's no water in the lake.
It was things like this that caused his father to name him Booby.
It used to be Bobby, but Papa changed it.
But just then,
Help! Save me! Help!
Who are you?
I'm a brownie.
Isn't that a kind of a fudge cookie?
Right, but I'm the kind with a long gray beard, and right now it's caught on this branch.
Well, don't worry about that. I'll have you loose in a jiffy.
and with a mighty tug, he did just that.
Boy, I bet that's smart.
It sure makes the tears come to my ducts, I'll tell you that. But stick your head into that hole in the tree, and you shall have your reward.
That sounds kind of stupid even to me. Couldn't I just have a dime or something like that?
But he got no answer, for the little brownie disappeared before his very eyes. Deciding that he had nothing to lose, the boy did as the brownie told him. And when he pulled it out again, there was a bright red hat on his head. Returning home, Booby told his father what had happened.
It's once in a lifetime anybody gets to do a favor for a brownie, and all you get out of it is a red hat.
With a feather in it.
You should have gotten a magic ring, a chest of gold, even a rich princess.
A yellow feather.
You know, I sometimes wish you were an owl.
A yellow feather with a... Why do you say that, dear father?
Because at least owls are smart, very wise.
Oh, in that case, I wish I was an owl, too.
No sooner had the boy wished that he were an owl than he turned into an owl.
Ah, so that's it. The red hat is a wishing hat. It's worth a fortune. Booby, come back!
Off the man ran, and though he found owls in barns, in trees, and of course in the owl sanctuary west of the town, he didn't find a single owl wearing a red hat. He went next into the city, where he found the captain of the Royal Guard and some of his men.
Captain, have you seen an owl go by wearing a red hat?
No, can't say I have. Of course, I haven't been looking for owls wearing red hats.
Well, I've got to find him. I've just got to.
What's so important about finding an owl wearing a red hat?
He's my son.
I see. Grab him, boys.
Thinking the man daft, the captain had him seized and thrown into the royal dungeon for safekeeping. But shortly after midnight, the owl wearing the red hat flew in through the bars of the cell.
Booby! What have you been doing?
I've been swooping down on mice in the fields. What have you been doing?
Never mind. That's a wishing hat the brownie gave you.
Really?
Certainly. How do you think you got changed into an owl?
Well, I didn't give it much thought.
You wouldn't. Quick now, wish yourself back like you were.
I wish I was Booby, formerly Bobby.
Yeah, it works like a charm. Now, wish us out of this dungeon, boy. We got work to do.
Booby did. And the following morning, they did go to work. Oh, yes, indeedy. The father thought of things to wish for, and Booby, wearing the red hat...
With a feather in it.
With a feather in it, did the wishing. They wished for fine clothes, chests of gold and diamonds, and a great castle to live in. By noon, they had everything in the world they could possibly wish for.
Well, that does it, boy. From now on, I live like a king. We're going to have a celebration.
A great feast was held at the castle, and only the most famous people of the land were allowed to attend.
So you got all this with a wishing hat, did you?
This is the hat on my head, and my name is Booby.
He means Bobby.
But, Papa, you say...
I changed it back again.
How utterly charming. I should love to see the hat work.
All right. Right, everybody. Bobby is going to make a wish for you.
Oh, very good, very good.
Go ahead, boy. Make a wish.
What shall I wish?
Who cares? Wish anything.
Okay. I wish I was in Dixie.
Oh, no.
It was too late.
Booby, you come back here.
I thought you said his name was Bobby.
Not anymore, it isn't.
Bobby's wish had a far-reaching effect, for shortly after he vanished, so did everything else. And the father was once more a simple, ragged peasant.
I say, nasty bit of luck, old chap. Well, we must be running along now. Cheero.
Party pooper.
The father spent the rest of his life searching the woods for trapped brownies. And what happened to Booby? Well, the wishing hat didn't work in Dixie. But he didn't care, for it was still a fine red hat.
With a feather in it.
He married, he settled down, and had 100 children. And his children's children had 100 children. Yes, there was to be a long line of boobies. In fact, there are quite a few of them to this day. For some reason, they all seem to be on the freeway. Every night around 5 o'clock.
And now it's time for Bullwinkle's Corner.
Hello. Today's poem is Wee Willie Winkie. Wee Willie Winkie runs through the town, upstairs and downstairs, in his nightgown, peeping through the windows, crying through the lock. Are the children in their beds? For it's now 8 o'clock.
George, there's a prowler outside. Help! Police!
Uh-oh.
There he goes! Head him off!
Hold it, you. Up against the wall. Okay, what's your name?
Wee Willie Winkie.
Hello, aren't I? You got a mate and a mug named Winky?
Why the candle? You a firebug or something?
Sir, I am a moose.
Okay, Jack, into the wagon.
Look at that rock. That's just terrible.
How come?
Why, they spelled Bullwinkle with only one L.
And now it's time...
Time for that jolly juggler, Bullwinkle.
Oh, dear.
3 at once. 1, 2,
And now here's a feature you're sure to like.
3.
It was a fine spring day in the Canadian Northwest, and Dudley Do-Right was in the best of spirits.
Dum-dum-dum-dum, I feel so tippy-top today, full of pep and raring to go. I just know today will be the day I will bring in Arch-Villain Snidely Whiplash to justice.
Feeling pretty good, eh, Dudley?
Goody, goody, good.
But, Dudley, it's been 23 years that you've been trying to bring in Snidely Whiplash, and you haven't succeeded yet.
Well, Nell, as I've said before, if at first you don't succeed, try again.
The trouble with you is you've lost your incentive, and when a Mountie has lost his incentive, it's time to turn in his coat.
I was feeling so good a minute ago, but Nell, I've got all the incentive any red-blooded, red-coated Canadian youth would want, the RCMP.
But that isn't enough, Dudley. You have to have the feeling of being wanted. That is why I want you to wear this locket close to your heart. Open it, Dudley. You see, Dudley, it has a picture of me.
Gee, thanks, Nell.
Incentive, Dudley. I hope this little token of my love will make you remember. Don't tell anyone. It will be our secret.
Dudley, when an officer of the RCMP enters the room, it is military courtesy to rise.
But I am, sir.
You are, sir, what?
Rised, sir.
Ooh, what's the matter, boy? You're all stupid.
Oh, no, sir, Inspector. I've always walked like this.
Well, Do-Right, I have information that will start your Mountie heart pounding. Snidely Whiplash is planning to rob the bank. It's your big chance at last.
Oh, is that, sir?
Snidely Whiplash.
Is that the chap with the mustache and the long black cape?
Snidely Whiplash, Do-Right. The arch-villain that you've been trying to bring in for the last 23 years. What's the matter, Dudley? Have you lost your incentive?
No, sir. I have it right here.
Meanwhile, Snidely Whiplash was in the best of evil spirits.
Such a beautiful, gorgeous day. I haven't lifted a finger, and already Nell Fenwick has fallen into me clutches.
Snidely Whiplash, you poor, poor man.
What poor? I'm feeling great, and you, Nell, have fallen into me clutches.
If you like Snidely, but it does seem a shame.
What's a shame?
23 years.
23 years?
Yes, for 23 years you've been pursued by Dudley Do-Right of the Mountain.
That's right, and he hasn't brought me in yet.
Hunted, hounded, forced to skulk about the Canadian countryside like some kind of furtive beast. 23 years.
Stop already!
But it's understandable.
What's understandable?
That after 23 years you would lose your incentive.
I was feeling so good a minute ago. Incentive?
Yes, Snidely, but don't worry. Wear this locket close to your heart. It has a picture of me inside.
Do you think it will help, Nell?
Only don't tell anyone I gave it to you. It will be our secret.
Gee, thanks, Nell. And here I always thought you were for the good guys.
Snidely, have you considered taking setting-up exercises? You gotta do something about your posture. Man, you're stupid.
Not at all, Homer. I've always walked like this. What's on the schedule today?
Oh, we got a gym dandy every day today, Snidely.
Well, get on with it.
Well, at 11 o'clock, we tie that woman down by the bluff to the railroad tracks.
Now, Homer, could you handle that? I'm just not up to tying women to railroad tracks.
At 12 o'clock, you're supposed to foreclose some mortgages.
Now, where will it all end, Homer? Railroad tracks, mortgages.
Gee, Snidely, you sound like you've lost your incentive.
Of course I haven't lost my incentive. I've got my incentive right here.
What was that?
Nothing, Homer. Carry on.
And there's the bank.
Oh, yes, the bank. We're supposed to deposit money in the bank, Homer.
We are not supposed to deposit money in a bank, Whiplash. We are supposed to rob the bank. You sure you ain't lost your incentive to lead a life of evil doing?
I've told you, Homer, I've got my incentive right here.
Jesus, here comes Dudley Do-Right of the Mountain.
Is that you, Snidely?
Oh, yeah. What brings you to town, Dudley?
Well, I had a reason, but for the life of me, I can't think what it was. How about you?
It's something to do with the bank. I can't seem to remember whether I was supposed to deposit some money or withdraw some.
Mm-hmm. I know how that is.
What's the matter with you guys? Mortal enemies, and here you stand. You guys lost your incentive or something?
Of course not. I have it right here. You're wearing Nell's locket.
It would have been a shame to see those boys lose their incentive after 23 years.
Last time, you remember, some of the top scientific minds in the country reverted to being morons who couldn't add 2 and 2. The smartest investigators in the world were called on to solve the problem, but they too wound up as complete stoops. In desperation, the government called on Bullwinkle Moose.
They figured I had nothing to lose.
But it looked as if Bullwinkle might not even get started, for in our last episode, somebody had just tossed a live hand grenade at him.
Well, I'll be doggy to say pineapple.
Throw it away, Bullwinkle!
Might as well. It isn't even ripe. Hard as a rock. Whoa! Maybe it was riper than I thought.
Oh, boy. Come on, we better get started before something else happens.
Meanwhile, on the site of the explosion, the smoke was just clearing.
Boris, bad enough. Where are you?
I'm up in a tree.
Boris, did you get blown up by your own grenade again?
No, I'm up here robbing birds' nests.
But why?
It keeps me off the streets, that's why. About 10 feet off.
Oh, we're not starting out this story very well, darling.
Oh, ho, ho. One little setback. Nothing. Moose will never reach Washington, Natasha. I'm going to use strategy on him.
You mean strategy, darling?
No, strategy. I'm gonna strategy the rope across the door and fasten the end to trigger of the shotgun. And when Moose comes out the door, what is it? Strategy. You said it.
But Boris was wrong again, for when Bullwinkle came out, he didn't just trip over the rope, he fell over it.
Boy, a good thing you fell, Bullwinkle. That thing went off right over your head.
Let's look on the bright side, Rock. It missed.
Not quite.
And so, in a little while, Rocky and Bullwinkle were on a train headed for Washington.
Gee, I'm worried, Bullwinkle.
The rating of the show down again?
No.
That's odd.
There have already been 2 attempts on your life.
Yeah, but don't worry. We'll be renewed.
I'm not talking about the Bullwinkle show.
You better. We can use the publicity.
I'm talking about somebody back there trying to get rid of you.
Oh, that. Well, they already missed me twice.
Yeah, but you know the old saying.
You mean everything comes to him who waits?
No, I mean the third time's the charm.
There's another one, too. If at first you don't succeed, try again. For just ahead of the train, Boris was approaching the tracks with a long crowbar.
Boris, to get Moose and Squirrel, you will wreck a whole train.
You can't make an omelet without breaking eggs, Poopsie.
And Boris started to pry up one of the rails. As fate would have it, though, this particular railroad was powered by electricity, and when Boris's crowbar touched the third rail...
Ah!
Hey, Rocky! A feller just went by who was all lit up.
We must be next to the club car.
Oh.
And so our heroes traveled across the country unscathed, as Boris continued to light up the landscape.
Well, darling, you failed 3 times in one episode.
I know, it's a new course record.
You look pretty stupid, darling.
On the contrary, Natasha, I never looked brighter.
Meanwhile, our hero's train was pulling to a halt.
So this is Washington.
No, it's McKeithport, PA.
I know, I'm just practicing.
Thank goodness this trip will be over soon.
Little did our friends know that high above them flew a mysterious black airplane, which at that moment dropped its nose and plummeted down directly at their railroad car. Well, who's in that plane? And will it really smash into the train? And if so, will our heroes escape? And if they
And
do...
if you don't hurry, it's going to hit us before the episode ends.
Oh, yes. Remember, next time episode, the deadheads are feeling zero.
Well, I guess that about wraps up another Rocky show.
Certainly hope you enjoyed it. I did. I always say.
Bullwinkle, time for us to go.
Already? Okay, but first, here are some of the people who made this show impossible.
That's not all.
The fingers get tired. Oop! Got away from me again.
Well, see you next time. Ready, Bullwinkle?